Today we're here to talk about CB radio and its potential key role in the preservation of free speech. As well, we're going to touch base with a trucking company owner based out of Saskatchewan to hear what he has to say about how it's used in the industry on a daily basis. You might not be familiar with citizen band radio, and its usage has died down a fair bit with the introduction of phones and the internet, which provide faster, more broad communication services. But you can think of it as a walkie-talkie system for adults, used in emergencies by authorities as well as hobbyist preppers, and especially considered where you might not often find cell reception. Most notably, truckers use it as a keen source of information and communication while on the road. It's used frequently, however, mostly remains hidden from public view. Even though this old-school radio technology doesn't have the wide range of uses or the speed and value of the internet, it does have its place, and it provides a certain form of independence which things like the internet can't provide, which may make it a noteworthy tool in the battle against the state with regards to free speech, especially now during an era of government-sponsored media and mass spying of civilians. What we are allowed to know has made each of us a target of the state. Anyone can purchase a CB radio and say whatever they want without the infringement of social media censorship. And unlike the internet, this radio doesn't face the same physical hurdles when it comes to access. It operates outside the functionality of the internet by way of people dialing into certain frequencies or channels. And as mentioned, CB radio is no stranger to the trucker industry, where it does play a significant role in daily operations. Starting our investigation into this hidden means of communication, we're joined by Haru, who owns a trucking company in Saskatchewan, where he details some daily uses of CB radio in the trucker industry.
The most basic one is Channel 19 CB radio. It's basically, we talk all the time on CB19 with other truckers. If there's an accident, there's fog, or there's a sharp corner and somebody's just pulled over with their flashers on, and just informing road conditions, slippery sections, and all that stuff. But there's more that happens on that. People do tend to talk more than just that sometimes, and it's just nothing special. But yeah, it's a different world. That's the only way we can kind of communicate with somebody else other than ourselves in the cab. I'm not sure what else happens on there. We're very strict with what we do with the CB radio, so we use it for what we're supposed to use. They're always on. They're in the trucks. You never shut them off. You hear a whole bunch of stuff.
The usefulness for truckers is self-explanatory, generally revolving around road safety. But as Haru mentions, there's more than that, which takes place on this quasi-hidden communications platform. This year alone, we saw unprecedented trucker convoys and blockades across the nation in protest of government mandates. And given the connection between semi-trucks and CB radio, I can't imagine they went unused. In years past, it's alleged that CB radio had been used by one trucker during the 1973 OPEC oil embargo to start a nationwide protest in the US against high fuel prices, among other things. And as Haru tells us, the convoy was more than likely using CB radio during its journey to Ottawa.
Or they definitely are. They definitely are. It's the quickest way of communicating. Everybody is on one channel, and all it takes is one push button, and you can talk immediately. So it's very quick, and everybody can get to you right away. Like, you know, if there's a stop or fuel, and you know, it's a very quick method of communicating.
Where it's very much so like someone just picks up and purchases a radio, and that's all that's being aired is other people talking.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
The convoy drew international attention towards the peaceful fight for civil liberties here in Canada, despite Trudeau's efforts to thwart dissent. This success may partially be thanks to CB radio, both in terms of navigating the convoy as well as the conveyance of messaging without government or big tech consent. Notably, there was an increase in CB radio sales during the pandemic. Meanwhile, the government continues to restrict media on all fronts. But this communications platform provided a separate world for truckers and convoy supporters to communicate with each other without a third-party overlord, as emphasized by the notable entrepreneur Elon Musk, when he stated that CB radios are free from government and media control.
Well, media control, it kind of goes to, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was Global or CTV. They just picked up somebody random.
And I advocate civil war. If people don't want to stand up, we've got guns, we'll stand up and we'll bring them out.
They like to show the negative side of it. There's always bad apples. it's a wrong message being sent. They always focus on the wrong message, is what I believe. And but CB radios having them, it's them communicating via, it's a real person talking to you. It's not a paid off media talking to you, right? So it's different.
Haru highlights a vital issue we now face here in Canada. Major media outlets are quick to spew government-positive narratives while ignoring the reality of the world we live in. Although it may have played a unique role in the trucker convoys we've seen so far in 2022, it's not certain to what capacity CB radio affected the protests. Either way, it might be worth having one in the back pocket just in case, as we're seeing continued efforts by our government to restrict our free speech on other communications platforms. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Sidney Vizard. If you want to see the latest on the trucker convoy and other related events here in Canada, you have to go to convoyreports.com. Not only is it your best way to stay up to date with the latest news that's accurate on related matters such as the convoy, it's also the best way where you can support us and our independent journalism.